Hey Floss Tube, it's Julie with Reflections Framing and Stitching. This part of today's video is being recorded in March, on the 19th to be exact. The other part was recorded so long ago that I kind of forgot what I had and hadn't done. And discovered that I really hadn't done much. So it's pretty rough. What's coming is pretty rough. It is the kind of the pictures from the pantry construction. We weren't real good about taking regular pictures. So I don't know how much you'll enjoy seeing it, but people did say they wanted befores and afters. So this is what I have for the befores. And to make this somewhat related to Floss Tube, I thought I would share today something that I started one day when I was not feeling like doing my rotation stitching. And this was also started back in January, and I haven't looked at it since. But I felt like starting something new, so I did. And what I started new was my next peacock. This one is called Peacock and Roses. So it looks like that. Now, it's right there. There's my other peacock. So that one's got the oranges and stuff. This one is, I believe, a little more of the reds in the flowers. So I didn't get very far. It was just one night of stitching. I am stitching it on 40 count Dulce de Leche by Fiber on a Whim. And this is as far as I got. If I was Katie, I'd say I'm almost done. But I'm not Katie. I've barely started. So I did want to show something stitching related before we go into the video on the pantry. And no, it wasn't much, but it's something. So the way this is going to work is I am going to finish up the construction part of the pantry video by adding this portion to it at the front end. Then it'll go into the construction part where you will see or hear Dan and I stumbling around trying to explain what was going on. And then that one will end rather abruptly, I might add. And then I will post the next video right after that. So if you don't want to see the beforehand, you can totally skip the rest of this video and go on to the next one, which is kind of a mishmash of different videos recorded since December, basically, including ones recorded today. So I'll be glad to have this project done. I'm not going to lie. I've learned a lot. I've done a lot of editing that I don't normally have to do. And I will promptly forget how to do it again. So don't expect that to happen anymore until the next time. But so with that, I'm going to turn this into the pantry construction video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
So Julie left for market, and I decided to do a shock factor for her that I sometimes do when she leaves. And tore out the existing pantry that I had built in the kitchen several years earlier with the intent of using that in the new pantry. The led to a trip to Menards, did a quick estimate, $12,000 for the first wall. So that's when I decided to do the construction myself. This is the rendering that Julie and I kind of came up with when she returned from retreat.
So what it was, we were going to change we have a vertical window in there. When we started, we were going to put in a double window, cupboards on both ends of the pantry with a decorative piece in the middle, and then the island with lights.
Let's see, this was the wall that had to go up between the existing library and the dining room.
This is on the library side of the wall.
This is on the library
we
side.
didn't get a picture of the construction as it happened. So this is all you get, folks, is the library side of the wall. And then this is the pantry side of the wall.
Yeah, this is just the framing filled in with the sheetrock plugged in there just to create a room. This is just some electrical that had to be done. There was a lot of electrical that had to be done. New outlets in the new wall. One on the side, yep. One in the middle, one on the side. This is sheetrock work being done. And then we started on the ceiling, which was a big project as well. So there was one light and chandelier in there that didn't do much. So we added, I think, 7 or 8 can lights and 1 spotlight.
Plus, we did shiplap on the ceiling.
Shiplap
this is showing the finished shiplap and the finished lighting, with the exception of the island lights.
So we started on the 2 cabinets, the big cabinets. This is the appliance cabinet here. The divisions for it for the different appliances. I was building this at the school shop. Starting to come together, white painted in the middle. I think this is the start of the left side cabinet, the food cabinet with pull-out drawers. And the other side of the cabinet. These things were big, trying to get in. I remember Ann and I had a fun time getting these in, but we finally got them in, then we started on the drawers. And the first one was a slide there for the bottom. There's the first drawer going into the slides. There's the first drawer in the slides and the next set of slides added. Photobomb of Remy checking things out.
She does that a lot.
More shelves being added, more pullouts.
I was testing out the sizing of the new containers, food containers.
Yep. And then we started thinking about the door, and we found the first door as a possibility at the Brass Armadillo.
Well, that was the only one we looked at.
Well, yeah. There was a couple doors there.
Yeah, but that's the one we chose.
That's the one we chose. Needed some work. We had to tear a couple parts off of it. Had to be extended. It was too short.
Oh, photobomb.
We were working hard, but Remy was taking it easy.
This is showing where he sanded down the door. And you can see the old window we had in there. We were removing that, but that didn't happen. More sanding of the door.
Not much fun. A lot of molding and that floral thing too.
You know, I did think about leaving it that way.
Oh.
That's the bottom he built to extend the door because it wasn't tall enough.
Clamping up the extension to the door. You can see it was about 6-7 inches too short.
And then there was a design, what do they call that in the business?
change order.
A change order.
A lot of those.
Decided I wanted brick above we were always going to do the shiplap on the wall, but I decided I wanted brick above the shiplap. So this was Dan's drawing of what that might look like when it was done.
And construction began on the island. We had to also extend power from the wall out to the end of the island because it's code that there be power in the island. Coming together. On the
That's
west end.
Drawer cubby.
Yep.
For the island.
Where the drawers are going to go. 3 drawers. Backside. This will be where chairs sit. I want to put a rail down there now as the last thing I want to do, a foot rail. I don't know, should that be black?
No, it should be copper.
Copper?
This is showing the
Initial shiplap.
shiplap and the first run of brick that he did, plus the countertop, the island top.
Yeah, we must have bought the countertop.
Mm-hmm. Which initially I wanted to keep natural. I didn't want to stain it. But that also changed a little bit later on. Caused a lot of problems. But there he's got the brick all the way up, but not grouted.
Yep. Then she also had another change order where she wanted a plate rail in the shelf after it was up. So that had to be added.
Yeah. There's a drawer for the island. And that's kind of showing one drawer's kind of done, and the bottom one, he's still got to put the trim on.
There was too big a space between the first and second drawer. I had to fix that. This is the brick with the mortar added. This is just some steps in the design of the drawers for the island and the west wall there.
Hardware, that was another problem.
Yeah.
I ended up settling for these. It was not what I had in my head, though.
And then also the countertop ended up being just a little too short for the island. We got a good deal on the countertop, so we couldn't really step away from that.
There's Remy working hard again.
It's union break time.
So that's the hardware. All 3 drawers are done, and he's got it painted.
And the countertop has those end pieces glued on.
Attached, yeah.
And we started,
Well, it's showing
started sanding and getting it ready.
testing, lots of testing of colors. But I think that big blotch there is the one we ended up going with.
I think so.
But we must have tried, what, 15?
Yeah, we couldn't get rid of the white. There were some parts of the wood that were pretty white that
And I didn't like it.
like.
Did not like it at all. So
It's an oil finish, so it can be fixed up if needed, maintained. Pretty easy finish to do, really.
there it's all stained.
And oiled, probably.
I don't know if it was oiled at that point. Appliance cabinet.
Starting to work on the slides for those. And there's power for those too. So our toaster and stuff has power. You don't have to take them out. This is the first round of the top that went between the 2 cabinets. And again, you can see Julie didn't like that. It looked really nice, I thought, but she didn't like the white.
We had another change order on that wall.
Yeah, now you see the shiplap back there.
Yeah, it was. He had it fully shiplapped. He built the drawers, started building the drawers. He had the countertop. I don't think that was a stain the same color, though. I think you had to sand that down.
I think we actually did that before we did the other one.
But there you can see the shiplap isn't on
Change
there
order,
anymore.
yep.
I decided I wanted some brick on that back wall rather than the shiplap.
Which we didn't have any more brick either. We didn't have enough brick to finish it, so
We had to.
I had to get kind of
Get
creative. Found a couple samples that
That's showing the brick laid out for the wall that we were gonna do, plus the shelving spacing.
Yeah, this is just layout. See how it's gonna fit. Actually, it was all laid out on the floor too before we put it up.
And that's him getting started laying the brick. Luckily, you didn't really have to repair the wall much.
No.
So, you know, it could have been worse. First shelf is in. But yeah, the creativity he had to use to get enough brick was pretty good. And there it is finished.
That looks like the restain of the countertop
too. The restain. Appliance cabinet with both doors on the bottom doors. Then it looks like we're going to the
There was some rot that we had to
new
fix.
Window. That's the new window. The two double hungs, it was going to be too expensive, so we just replaced the leaking one that we had. And that's your woodworking that you did.
Some custom trim at the bottom and at the top. You'll see later on. Yep.
We kind of worked on that design of the. I showed him some pictures of what I liked, and this is what he came up with. There's the appliance cabinet fully done.
With some crown molding up there too. Ceiling level.
Yeah, and it looks like you installed the pendants.
Mm-hmm.
Got those fairly cheaply at Lowe's.
We did. Again, there was a lot of back and forth on where they should go on the island.
That's the beginning of the new floor. Originally, I wanted the same tile as I'd laid up in our master bathroom, but it didn't look good with the brick. Looking good.
So they estimated how much I needed for me at Lowe's. I think Lowe's. And I mean, we barely had enough. I had to.
That's because they discontinued it.
Yeah, but.
In the process.
Yeah.
That's showing some of the base molding. And aren't those the feet?
Yeah, Julie.
Cabinets?
From her DIY show she watches, somebody did that to her cabinets and she liked it. So.
Hi, Remy. And you can see the feet. He's got them placed under there. They're not painted yet. And now we're working on the door. We wanted a barn door.
Shut the barn door, slide door, yep.
Yeah. So he's working on getting that. There's the trim around it.
Had to take it back down, put the trim up.
You can see the food pantry is all done there. And there's the door installed. And then this last shot is going to be kind of a quick peek into the pantry for you before I do the next video showing the final product.